Hello everyone. Welcome, and we are going to deal with control and coordination. We have already dealt with the control and coordination that takes place in plants. So now we will be going ahead with the control and coordination that takes place in animals. Okay? So herein we will be just dealing with the animals now. So what is the basic system that helps in the control and coordination in animals? That is the nervous system. So control and coordination, so who helps? The nervous system is taking part of it. Okay, so all the informations from our environment, whatever we get, it is being it is being detected by some specialized tips, that is some nerve cells, some specialized tips of some nerve cells, which is known as the receptors, and it is then sent to the brain, and the brain sends the information to, so we have some receptors, and from this receptors it will be moving to the brain, and the brain will tell what to do to the affected nerves, So there are two particular places, which is the one is the receptor and one is the effector. Okay, so that is how it acts. Fine. So what are the different kinds of receptors that we have? The different kinds of receptor that we have so different kind of sense organs that we have. So we can see, so this will be photoreceptor. This is photoreceptor. Then we can hear, so it is sound, so this is phonoreceptor. Then we can smell, which is olfactory receptor. Okay, olfactory receptor. Then taste, that is gustatory receptor. So again feel, that is thermoreceptor. Okay, thermoreceptor. So these are the different kinds of receptors based on the different kinds of sense organs that we have. Okay, next, now the information which is acquired at the end, so at the end of the dendritic tip of a nerve cell, it sets a chemical reaction and it creates some impulse, electric impulse, which is getting transferred into the next axon terminal, okay, of the consecutive nerve. So that is how the function works, that is how it works, the nervous system works. So now to tell you what is how a nerve looks like. So if you see a nerve, it has got a nerve ending, it has got dendrons, it has got cell body, and it has got axons. So it will be moving from one dendron tip moving to the axon tip and will get transmitted. Okay, next, then we have the reflex action. How does reflex action works? So reflex action is going to work with a reflex arc. So what is a reflex arc? See, if you are touching any flame or any hot object, what you do? You will remove your hand. Okay, so you are going to sense it, and then after that again you are going to remove your hands. So that is how you are going to work. So when I talk about the nerves, there are sensory nerves, there are effector nerves, as well as there are relay nerves. Okay, so now coming to the reflex arc, how it happens. We have a receptor. You see the hand is touching the hot object, the hand is touching the hot object. So here we have, so here the receptor is coming, here the receptor is coming, and it is being transferred into the central nervous system, that is spinal cord or brain, and then it will be moving across to, and it will give an an idea of what to do. It will say, the brain will say what to do. Okay, remove your hand. So that will be given to the affected muscles and they will remove the hand. So that is how the reflex arc is going to work. Alright. Next, coming into human brain. So when we talk about human brain, so human brain does a lot of work, and the brain is again divided into different parts, and thus they are going to function. Okay, so if you see the human brain over here, so the brain, it has to send messages to the muscles, it has to decide what to do. Okay, and the nervous system communications with the muscles, then the communication between central nervous system and the other parts of the body, all these are facilitated by the central nervous system, and the other parts of the body is facilitated by the peripheral nervous system, which consists of cranial nerves arising from the brain, spinal nerves which is arising from the spine. Okay, so the brain, it will allow us to think, it will allow us to take some actions. All those things are being coordinated by the brain. So the different parts of the brain, as you see, there is a forebrain which is very important for us to think. So there is a forebrain which is important for us to think. We are thinking. Okay, and then after that there are separate areas in the forebrain which is specialized for different sense organs like hearing, smell, sight, so on. And there are separate areas which is associated with the sensory information and is interpreted by putting it together with information from other receptor as well, with the information that is already stored in the brain. So based on all this, the decision making is made. Okay, and it is then transferred into the motor areas, and there is the voluntary action that is going to take place. Alright, so that is how reflex is going to work. Fine. So if you think of activities like walking in a straight line, riding bicycle, so these are possible due to the part of the hindbrain. So there is a hindbrain over here. This hindbrain, what is this? In this hindbrain, that is known as the cerebellum. The forebrain we have the cerebrum, and then hindbrain we have the cerebellum. So it is responsible for precision of voluntary actions and maintaining the posture and balance in the body. So it is very, very important for us to maintain the balance in the body. Okay, next, how are these tissues protected? So as you know, your brain is very delicate. So what happens is, there are various of activities that's going to take place. For this, the body is designed so that the brain sits inside a bony box. So inside the box, the brain is contained with a fluid filled balloon. So it's like a fluid filled balloon which is there, and that is going to prevent the brain from any kind of shock and all those things, and for the smooth functioning of the brain. Okay, there is a cortex, there is a medulla, so that is the middle layer. Cortex is a thicker layer outside, so that is happening. And how does nervous tissue cause action? So this nervous tissue, what it does, it is going to collect information, send it around the body and process information, makes decision based on information, and conveys the decision to the muscles for action. So we can say that when the action or movement is to be performed, the muscle tissue will do the final job. So that is how the muscles are going to move. So the muscles would be told to contract or relax. So accordingly they will contract or relax by changing their shapes or shortening them. So that is how various actions are going to take place depending on the electric impulse which is being sent. Okay. So thank you. That's it in the chapter.